but I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with Japan.
30 years of free trade across North America virtually wiped out by a single executive order.
Of course, I don't think anyone could have foreseen this happening.
There are all kinds of unintended consequences that will fall into place.
With time, it will become apparent that these actions will end up hurting American workers and American consumers.
Gentlemen, what if I told you that with one signature, just one piece of paper, America just handed over its crown jewel industry to Canada? What if I told you that Detroit, the Motor City, the symbol of American industrial might for over a century, is about to become a ghost town, while Windsor, Ontario becomes the new automotive capital of North America? What if I told you that a policy designed to save American auto jobs just cost us 1 million vehicle sales and sent our biggest trade partner running straight into Mexico's arms? You'd probably think I was crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because that's exactly what just happened. And most Americans have no idea. Here's what they're not telling you on the evening news. On April 3rd, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order that didn't just shake up the auto industry, it detonated it. A 25% tariff on all imported vehicles and auto parts. Every car, every truck, every component crossing our border just got 25% more expensive overnight. The White House called it protection for American workers. They said it would bring jobs back to Detroit, back to Michigan, back to the heartland. But here's the question that should keep every American awake at night. What happens when your cure becomes deadlier than the disease? Because that $30,000 family SUV you were planning to buy, it just became a $40,000 luxury item. That reliable Honda Civic your kid needs for college? Forget about it, and here's the part that should terrify you. While American families are getting priced out of the car market, our neighbors to the north are throwing a party. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening in dealerships across America right now. I'm talking to dealers who had customers ready to buy $80,000 trucks. Same customers walked away when those trucks hit $100,000, $20,000 added overnight, gone, just like that. Those trucks are sitting on lots, gathering dust, while dealers pay higher and higher interest rates just to keep the lights on. Think about this. We're not talking about luxury cars for the rich, we're talking about work trucks for contractors, reliable sedans for families, affordable cars for young people starting their careers, all gone, priced out of reach. But here's where it gets personal for every working American. 40,000 auto jobs lost in the first year, 40,000 families wondering how they're going to pay their mortgages, feed their kids, keep their health insurance. In Lafayette, Indiana, Subaru plant workers, the same folks this policy was supposed to protect, are getting pink slips. The very people Trump promised to save are the first ones thrown overboard. And it's not just the auto workers, gentlemen, it's the truckers who can't afford to replace their rigs. It's the small business owners whose delivery costs just went through the roof. It's the families who can't afford to fix their cars because parts now cost 25% more. Now, while America's shooting itself in the foot, what do you think our competitors are doing? Sitting around feeling sorry for us? Hell no, they're moving faster than a NASCAR pit crew. Japan took some hits, I'll give you that. Nissan lost $4.5 billion. They had to close 7 factories worldwide, lay off 20,000 workers. But here's what they did next that should scare the hell out of you. They pivoted. Within weeks, they were redirecting shipments away from America and straight to Canada. They started building up production networks that completely bypass us. We didn't hurt Japan. We taught them they can't depend on America. We turned them into a competitor instead of a customer. And Canada? Oh, Canada saw this coming from a mile away. Within days, gentlemen, Prime Minister Carney slapped a matching 25% tariff on American cars. But here's the genius part. They took all that tariff money and pumped it into a $2 billion fund to steal our auto industry. $2 billion to make Windsor, Ontario the new Detroit. Think about that. We tried to protect Detroit by destroying free trade, and Canada said, thanks for the opening. We'll take it from here. But here's the part that should make your blood boil. Trump didn't just betray American consumers with these tariffs. He betrayed American companies too. Ford, the most American car company there is, got hit with $800 million in tariff costs in just 3 months. Let me say that again. We tariffed our own companies. Meanwhile, Japanese negotiators were smart enough to get their tariffs reduced to 15%. So now, a Toyota built in Japan costs $5,000 to $10,000 less than a Ford built in Detroit. We didn't level the playing field, gentlemen. We tilted it against ourselves. And Tesla, the pride of American innovation, their stock dropped 5% overnight. Analysts are saying they could collapse within 3 years if this keeps up. We're watching American car companies get crushed by a policy that was supposed to save them. But here's the question nobody in Washington wants to answer. How do you protect American industry by destroying American industry? Let me give you some numbers that'll make your head spin. Canada just imported more cars from Mexico than from the United States for the first time in 30 years. 30 years, gentlemen. 3 decades of American automotive dominance gone. We're looking at 2 million fewer vehicle sales annually in America. 2 million. That's not just numbers on a spreadsheet, that's entire communities getting wiped out. Moody's just downgraded America's credit rating for the first time ever because of these tariffs. That means higher interest rates on your mortgage, your car loan, your credit cards. The policy that was supposed to help working-class Americans is making everything more expensive for working-class Americans. And while we're bleeding jobs and losing customers, Windsor, Ontario, is booming. Supply chains that took decades to build are packing up and moving north. Canada didn't steal our auto industry, gentlemen. We handed it to them on a silver platter. Here's what the politicians don't want you to understand. This isn't really about tariffs. This is about trust. For 30 years, we built the most efficient automotive supply chain in human history. Parts crossed borders multiple times. American, Canadian, and Mexican workers were all part of one big integrated system. It worked because everyone trusted the rules wouldn't change overnight. Then we changed the rules overnight. Now, every ally we have is asking the same question Canada asked. What happens when America decides to weaponize trade again? They're all building backup plans. They're all reducing their dependence on us. They're all preparing for the day when America first becomes America alone. And you know what the tragedy is? This was all preventable. We could have negotiated. We could have found targeted solutions. We could have worked with our allies instead of declaring war on them. Instead, we chose the nuclear option, and like all nuclear weapons, it destroyed everything, including ourselves. So let me ask you something, gentlemen. When did protecting American industry become synonymous with destroying American industry? When did America first start meaning America last? Because right now, as I speak, Canadian auto plants are hiring while American plants are closing. Mexican factories are expanding while Michigan factories are shutting down. We spent so much time trying to punish our competitors that we forgot to take care of our customers. And in a free market, customers have choices. They chose to shop somewhere else. Here's the bottom line. We didn't just lose a trade war, gentlemen. We lost something far more valuable. We lost our reputation as a reliable partner. We lost the trust of our closest allies. And we lost the crown jewel of American manufacturing. Detroit isn't just a city, it's a symbol. And that symbol is heading north. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to double down on policies that are clearly failing? Or are we going to admit that maybe, just maybe, burning bridges isn't the best way to win friends and influence people? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think these tariffs were worth it? Can America get its auto industry back? Or are we watching the end of American automotive dominance? Hit that subscribe button if you want more hard truths about what's really happening to American power. Because, gentlemen, this story is far from over.